All right, we are back for the third installment of the 2030 VBL Amateur Draft First Round Review. I originally said I was doing 3 videos. I think I'm going to do 4. We'll see if I have time for the fourth. The fourth one is going to be the OSA top players who were not drafted in the first round. So I actually haven't looked at who was drafted in the second round yet. Just an attempt to try and keep myself honest there. We'll see if I have time to get that video done. But this video is going to be the top 5 best value and the, I guess, top 5 worst value. So same idea. I took the same scouts that I used for the previous 2 videos, and I ranked the players based on those scout views, and then based on where they were drafted, they would either fall into the best value or worst value category. So if the number one guy was really the 20th best prospect of those that were drafted, that would be worst value. And then you flip it, that would be the best value. So a couple of these guys that were on the list, they actually were on the previous 2 videos, so I'm just going to skip them and do the next 5 overall. So for top 5 best value, 2 players were on the first video I did, and that was Carlos Lopez and Gonzalo Ramirez. As I mentioned, the scouts that I chose anonymously, both loved them both, I should say. So they would be on this video, but I wanted to focus on players that we haven't talked about. So the number 5 best value draft pick is Luis Vargas of Cumberland. He was drafted 19th overall. The scouts that I used, they ranked Vargas between 3.5 to 5 stars. So a lot of scouts really like this guy. He's only 17. Went to James Madison. I feel like one of the other top guys went to James Madison, because I remember that. It might have been Lopez or Ramirez, actually. Looking at his profile here, third baseman, he can't play it for his life. So that's going to be the area that you got to focus on. Honestly, 17, so you got to wait a year to do rewards here. Probably best case scenario, this guy's going to be a second baseman. I don't think he's going to have what it takes to be a quality third baseman. Honestly, he might be a first baseman. So if he's held back, this is going to be a big reason why. Looking at the profile, 82 contact, 81 power, 92 home run, 58 discipline, 92 avoid K. Looks, really good profile. OSA loves him at 5 stars. He's not very fast, but he's smart on the bases. Great profile. He's a leader. He's loyal. Looking at his stats, let's see. So he improved from his freshman year in high school to his sophomore year. So you definitely love to see that, especially at the young age. I didn't point out that he's from Mexico. I'm just trying to see. All right, so home runs, 34 home runs in his sophomore year of high school. His metrics went up, right? So he wasn't hitting for average as much, but he was getting on base more and better slugging percentage. So all signs point to good things there. His fielding's probably going to be. It's actually, well, at first I was like, oh, look at that. He did pretty well. He only played 14 games. So he was used as a DH in high school. That should speak volumes to Cumberland. Let's just see really quick his injury. He's clear there. His scouting report, OSA says he projects to be a 290 hitter, great strike zone recognition, high ceiling, projects well on the field and at the plate. Not sure he projects well in the field, but we're not going to split hairs on that because we already went over that. Again, you're seeing the difference between 22 and 24, so I'm not taking a lot of stock in that. In this league or any league that I'm in. I'm just focusing on what the current game is telling me. and what the stats are telling me. Overall, though, I think you can see that this is pretty good value at number 19 by Cumberland. So good job there. Number 4 on our list is Enrique Ortiz. He was drafted by Bugaboo Creek, number 25. He is originally from Puerto Rico. He's a college player, went to East Carolina. He's a junior. Let's see, left fielder, 20 years old. He's going to turn 21 before the season starts. So you got about 3 years to do the rewards on him. So kind of scary because kind of what you see is what you get here. Granted, you're going to have a little room to work with. Right out of the gate, like most, you're seeing this area as a concern. Let me just see if he has... Yeah, his infield stuff is not great either, so got to make a choice here in the field. You might just have to... I just noticed he's got 37 arm. He's going to be a DH or a first baseman. I don't think his range and his arm are going to get to a point where you can use him in the field and not have concerns. Maybe you can get by with first base. Maybe. It's probably worth checking in on that range, maybe adding some points there and then throwing him at first base in the minor leagues, seeing how he does. But it's probably more likely he's a DH. He is slow as slow can get. 81, 92, 91, 64, 89. Great hitting profile. No problems there. OSA loves him. He's already a 2-star, and as you can see, he's pretty close to ready. You probably want that eye to get a little bit better. Let's see his stats overall. Very consistent. Very consistent. He struck out a bit more than you'd like to see in a junior year of college, though. Let me just double check. 79 avoid K. That's not going to stop you from thinking that this kid's got a potential, but that's something that just stands out to me. It looks like the only real thing that dropped significantly, something I haven't been checking, but I do want to start checking. All right, so his batting average of balls in play, he gets on base when he puts the ball in play, and I kind of like to look at that too, because mostly if I saw like 354, 238, and like 299, that's when I start looking at this to try and figure out, all right, is that part of a trend? Is it bad luck? What is it? So I don't see any red flags there, though. As a fielder, yeah, he's not a great fielder. First of all, he hasn't been fielding really since his freshman year. He did pretty poorly at it in left field, so that really kind of verifies the report on his fielding injury history. I'm not sure what's up with that hip soreness. Bruised ankle could have been a hit by the pitch. The shoulder injury would give me a little bit of pause. So I would say if this guy doesn't make it for Bugaboo, it's going to be the shoulder injury that gets him, or it's going to be the fact that he can't field for his life. But he's got a DH profile, so I'm not one that says you don't draft a DH in the first round, because a DH is in your lineup and you need a DH. So if this is the guy, so be it. He's a lefty. Now that I see that, and I should have done this on the others. Just curious. He hits lefties pretty well, so that's not a problem. Sometimes you see like really obscene splits in this game, but not for him. So he's number 4 on the value list. So let's move on to number 3. I think I'm doing good at pronouncing the name so far, but we might get in trouble soon. All right, Jorge Jacome. He is from Aruba. He has no picture. I don't know why. That really upsets me when that happens. He was drafted by Sausalito, pick number 24, and scouts kind of similar to our previous player. They range from 3 to 5 stars, but the big difference here is OSA has got him at 3.5. So OSA's got him on the lower side than or where our scouts had him. You can see the profile is, the eye obviously is amazing, but there's some question marks here, right? So avoiding Ks, if you have that eye, I think you can get away with an abundance of strikeouts. I don't love it, but if you if you can only have one, at least it's 100 potential. I would say this has to improve. Listen, he's only 17 years old. He's out of West Monroe, so there's a lot of time to improve him. The problem for me is you got to improve probably the avoid Ks just to, try and get with some improvement in contact. His fielding is not very good. Let's just double check if he can field the outfield. He cannot. So another guy, realistically, I don't think he's probably a first baseman. So you got to do everything you can to make him a second baseman and a quality one. He's greedy, he's got ambition. He's not very loyal. He is fast, though. Fast by this draft standards, at least. So he does have that part of his game. Let's see his stats. A pretty consistent track record. I don't see anything here that makes me think that this guy can't hit. Honestly, if I go back to his ratings, so they're saying he's 37, 44, 42, 74, 17. Let me just see his strikeouts. He is striking out a lot. So I'm not sure that I'm going to agree that his avoid K is probably at a 17 because, if it was at 17, I feel like we'd see more strikeouts there. His eye, look at those walk totals. So his eye, I would say OSA is bang on there. But he's showing really good power. He's hitting for doubles. So it's possible, and this may be where Sausalito found him, it's possible that gap, his contact and his home run power are better than OSA thinks, at least. So he stole a decent amount of bases. He didn't get caught a bunch, so he's good there. Fielding, struggled his freshman year, did pretty well sophomore year, and then kind of bounced back into the negative side his junior year. So I think all that does is tell you that he still has to improve in the field. Let's just check out injuries. All right, so he had a sore elbow, strained oblique. So you got 2 injuries there. That maybe cause a little pause there and give you a reason to not draft. But let's just check. His eye grades out as plus. Yeah, we already know that. Strong runner. He has improving pitch recognition and may make consistent contact. Second base starter. Yeah, I think he's a curious player because I don't really think the stats in high school are verifying this profile. So you have to think that Sausalito saw something else, and their scout probably, if I'm going to just bet, they are probably in that 4 to 5 star range, and they probably see this a little bit different. So he'll be somebody to look for, but as our anonymous scouts go, this goes as the 3rd best value pick in the first round. All right. And number 2, and I think what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm actually going to, no, you know what? I was going to do another video just with the bottom 5, but I think I'm just going to do it in the same one. Why not? All right, number 2, Luis Olivas, Puerto Rican. He was drafted by the Muck Dogs of Kiwa Island, pick number 20. So another high school player. He'll turn 18 before the season starts. He is a switch hitter. OSA loves him at 5 stars. The scouts that I used, he ranged from a 4 to a 5-star prospect. So getting him at number 20 is a pretty good get. High work ethic, not a leader. Like everybody else, he can't field, but I will say all he needs to do is improve this range, because at worst, you improve that range over time, he's a left fielder. So giving him time in left field is pretty important. Can't run, so it is what it is. All right. Oh, he's going to be somebody to check his batting average balls in play. But really quick before we do that, he didn't get a lot of playing time as a freshman. So it's, before I saw how many games and plate appearances he had, I looked at the average and I was like, all right, there's a difference there. But he just didn't get a lot of opportunities. We're going to check that injury record. Let's just do that now to see if. Well, that's probably why, right? So he had a rotator cuff strain and he was out for 6 weeks, which is interesting because it says he's durable. So maybe you just hope that that's just a bad luck injury. Let me just go back there. So you got to take that with a little bit of grain of salt. I mean, he only had a 1.8 WAR in high school. That's not that great. Walked enough. His strikeouts are fine. It's not a bad record. I mean, that's not a bad year, especially coming off the injury. Batting average balls in play is bang on the same. Let's just see. His fielding may have caused some of those woes. Yeah, he wasn't a great fielder. In right field, though, I mean, he didn't do too bad for those ratings in right field, but he should have been playing left field. I think, yeah, I already did that. Let's see. Scouting report. Let's see. Power plus. Ball explodes off his bat. Patience. Unbelievable patience. Great stroke and projects to hit for high average. Elite starting right fielder. Well, all right. I mean, if you're the Muck Dogs, you love to hear it, right? And I mean, that profile, 81, 100, 100, 163. Listen, there's a chance that that's not accurate, but when you're picking number 20, and if your scout says this or anything really close to that, I don't see how you're passing up this guy. So, he'll figure out his fielding. He's not going to be a DH. He'll be able to field. He's got enough time to get there. I don't think anything has to happen here until you play him in the rookie league and see how he does on his own. So overall, could be one of the next big things in the outfield for the Muck Dogs. We'll have to wait and see. And then let's go to the number 1 best value draft pick. Jose Paredes. Yeah, he is Cuban. He is a second baseman. He is a high school player, and he was drafted number 26 by the Kansas City Scouts. Pretty interesting pick here because I actually have a weird note in my notes, but I don't think he was rated lower than 4.5 stars by any of the scouts. It looks like I either meant to say 4.5 to 5 or I said all 5, but I don't think he was all 5. So, you're getting a player that most scouts really love at pick number 26. Hard to go wrong there. 5 stars from OSA. His batting profile, 71, 62, 100, 54, 40. I actually don't love that. This is the first time I've looked at him. I am wondering why he's a 5-star talent. 100 power, obviously, right? No doubt. But 40K, 54I, that's not a great combo. 62 gap, sure. 71 contact. I mean, I struggle with 71 contact when the I and the avoid Ks are not very special. So yeah, sorry, I'm a little baffled by this 5-star projection. Actually, because I'm also seeing this. So when I saw that and then I looked at this, I was like, well, maybe he's like some elite fielder, but no, he is not. Good speed, so we'll get that out of the way. No problems there. It's interesting to me. Well, all right. Well, let's dive in on his fielding. So he's 17. If you're trusting this, well, actually, I hope Kansas City sees better than this, because if not, you got to work on the eye and the avoid case somehow before you even worry about the fielding. Because if this guy can't hit, he ain't gonna field good enough to make a difference on the field. So I think his future is probably at second base. Let's just double check, make sure he's not some weird outfielder. I mean, he could end up playing left field. I don't think you want to go that route. You're better off just focusing on this and seeing if you can get him more time at second base. Low work ethic, I imagine that'll get changed in the rewards. His hitting profile, all right, so he dominated those first 2 years. I mean, he is ridiculous. 5.2 WAR, 4.5, and then a 3.2. On base dropped year after year. Slugging took a pretty significant dip, but again, you're talking about a guy who slugged 705 going to 600. That's not exactly a bad thing. Yeah, there's something that just strikes me as odd about this guy, to be honest with you. All right, so his batting average, balls in play. So when I look at this, I see 322 as the outlier. So if I go back here, I'm looking more at this year and this year as who he is, and less about this year. Because to me, the outlier is more luck. Again, you're going to have to see in the minor leagues what he can do and where he lands in the batting average of balls in play. But let's just check his fielding. Oh, man. They tried him at, that's this year. Well, still worthwhile seeing. But clearly not a third baseman, so that should just stop. He did well at second base. Well enough, I would say. Again, though, I think you have to take fielding stats with a grain of salt, and still look to improve that. Injury history. Tendinitis in May of this year. Don't love it. These could be hit by pitches. Let's just see his scouting report really fast. Impact type power, above average contact, smooth swing, quick hands, good pitch recognition. This says, and he could hit for a 240 batting average. That's not, yeah. That whole lead up right there, that lead up reads like 240 is going to be a great thing. And as you know, 240 is not a great thing. His plus speed makes him a threat to steal 10 bases. This is the strangest scouting report I think I've read, and I haven't read a lot in 24 yet. But from this point up to here makes it read like he's like the muck dog guy, but in reality, it's like he's very far away from that. But he has all-star potential. I don't really know. I mean, again, he's ranked really high. A lot of scouts love him. I'm going to have to say I don't love him. Sorry, Kansas City. I just don't. I don't see it. I see a lot more question marks. So he's going to be somebody that's fun to watch, because I'm sure if he was drafted at 26 and a lot of scouts really loved him, that a lot of people chose to not listen to their scout for whatever reason. So I'm really curious to see why. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. And since this video went a little long because I kind of got stuck on Jose Paredes here, I am going to end this, and I'm going to do another video of the bottom 5. So I appreciate you guys listening, and I will be back with another video in a bit.